Hey, are you ready to play? Hello there, guys. Today we are talking about on the Backseat Positivity podcast. Welcome. If you're new, hello, I'm Dawn. I am a doctor come content creator come fun maker. And today we're talking about AI in relationships. Oh my god, I'm actually really excited for this episode. Again, it's a late boy for me. So Tom is gaming. You may be able to hear him. Tom is my boyfriend. He is not artificial or intelligent. Joke, that was a joke. He's very intelligent, but he's not artificial. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about AI in gaining relationships, so finding a relationship. Then we do weird thoughts. If you're new to the podcast, this only started last Monday, but I like weird things, and sometimes I have weird thoughts, and it kind of goes like this: weird thoughts. When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. Okay, so homage to Rihanna there. And then we move on to AI relationships. Yes, it's a thing. It's been depicted in many TV programmes, which I've watched. So I'm very excited to talk about that. And then something I recently thought about, literally today, and that's why I'm talking about it, is that I had a counselling session today. And I was thinking, I had a counselling session. Then, no, wait. I listened to a podcast first. The podcast was, they mention AI. Everybody mentions AI. And then later on, I had a counselling session. And then I thought, could I have a counsellor that's AI? Because I went onto an AI program called, what's it called? Mid-Journey. I had to remember that one. I've used ChatGPT a few times. It's pretty boring. Like, it comes up with shit that's useful, but there's no personality to it. There's no story. There's no spunk. I don't feel anything when I read the ChatGPT stuff. I'm just a bit like, okay. But I went on to Mid-Journey, and Mid-Journey is a AI. If you don't know what AI is, okay, let me give you a quick DL down low. Basically, it's a computer program that learns from all of its previous requests. So, if you don't know what AI is, how? So, AI you might think of as like Alexa or Siri. You talk on your phone, hey Siri. But recently it's become mega. So ChatGPT is only one that creates words, I believe. Maybe it creates other stuff, but I don't know. I ask it, create a video title for a video about blah, 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 or give me 20 podcast ideas about this type of content. And it just spits it out. But what it does is it takes information from all of the other content on the internet, and then I don't know if I mute that, will it be a problem? And then it surmises it all together. You might know what AI is, and I'm just being a little shitbag and telling you anyway. You could have just skipped forwards maybe 30 seconds to a minute there. But anyway, this AI on Mid-Journey is a little bit different because it creates a picture. Maybe on the YouTube video I'll put some up on here and what I asked it to do, because it's I was amazed. I mean, I did find it a little bit difficult to really control what I wanted, as in I was saying I wanted it to look hand-drawn. I think sometimes it just looks so computerized. I mean, obviously, but there's no kind of it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just very vector computerized art. I tried to get it to do watercolor or like sketches. It struggled with the sketches. It did a bit of watercolor, but yeah. And all of the people that it creates pictures of, which are fucking amazing, but they're so like perfect. Like they are symmetrical. They are like perfect skin. Like and they look like little angel children. But it's very good. Very good. I think the thing is, you're never going to replace a human. And I guess that's the ongoing theme for this evening. So the last section is kind of the positive section, I would say, because I'm not being funny, but AI, as well as it being very amazing, kind of scares me a little bit. I'm a bit like, where's it going next? And this has been depicted in many TV shows, which we will talk about. Let's start with talking about AI finding relationships. So the thing is with dating apps at the moment is they aren't really they're run algorithmically, as in they'll show you people in a certain order, but they aren't designed to show you people that you are destined to be matched with. Now, there is one that does quote to be matching you. There's two. They're not dating apps though as such. They're more sort of old school websites, eHarmony and Match.com. So they I think work on AI. So you put in like information and then it kind of creates like a profile about you and then matches you to someone who you'd be similar with. But how does it know? I think what relationship AI is missing is the fact that, you know, firstly, you're not going to enter your whole life story into it, are you? I mean, if you could, you just take out your brain and put it in there. That would be probably amazing. But the other thing is, it's not just the brain stuff, it's physical stuff. It's do I find a certain trait annoying, or does that remind me of something in the past? Not saying it's not possible, because oh my god, sorry, what I've seen on Mid-Journey is incredible. And I don't know where it's all come from. I don't know if it's just gained popularity recently, or whether it's been around for ages and I just like haven't known, or whether it's just like boom, come out of nowhere, or whether I don't know what happened. AI just seems to have popped out of the underworld and straight into our lives. And I don't know if it's because I like sort of live and work in a creator economy. Maybe that's why. And a lot of people are talking about AI taking over creators and stuff like that. I just don't know that it's going to happen. I think it's not that... Okay, the thing is with AI, it's never going to create something that is unique. It's always going to pull from something else and kind of smash it together and go blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that creative stuff isn't like that, but it's not going to be able to take my story into account and recount it like I felt it, okay? And that's the thing it's missing, is feeling. But that's the thing that we are different to them with. Feeling and physicality at the moment. So I think finding relationships, I don't think it's I think it has probably come a long way. Is it perfect? No, but nothing is perfect, Dawn, come on. Yeah, we know that, all right? So I think that's all I've got to say on finding relationships. I think unless somebody is going to sit there and really hone in on their specific of what they want, the only other thing you could do is maybe like attach some kind of neurological thing, chest straps, blood pressure stuff, and film somebody, take data from them interacting with different people and seeing which one they reacted more positively to. But then again, I don't necessarily think that a butterfly's excited, reaction is always a good thing. I've talked about this before, because it's more of a slow burn. So, you can measure somebody's lust or sexual attraction through that, or excitement or nervousness. I don't think that necessarily equates to long-term relationship stability. There we go. Okay. Let's do weird thoughts. We're going in. We've been recording for 11 minutes and weird thoughts are coming out already. Weird thoughts are always present in my mind, okay? I find a lot of things very weird. In fact, I'm just going to mention this one now. I find the fact that I'm alive... In fact, maybe this is going to be my one. Yeah, I had a different one, but this is going to be it. Stay tuned for Friday to hear the other one. I find it weird that we're alive, okay? Humans have questioned their existence for a long time. And I am continuing that trend because it's weird. I'm alive. Maybe don't think about this as deeply as I do, because you might come into some kind of inner turmoil, which I've been in many times. Because then you think about the universe, and if you really, really think about it, what? Okay, it might be freaking me out a little bit. Okay, space scares me. I think one of my biggest fears would be just floating around in space, not attached to anything, and literally just left there to float. And probably, you would die. If you're just left to float in space, that would be it. Anyway, sometimes I get a bit scared when I look at the sky, because I'm especially at night. In the day, it just looks blue and it's quite nice. But at night, it's black. And it reminds you that there's nothing but everything out there. And then you look and you see the stars. But to me, I don't see the stars as stars. I see them as other entities that are really fucking far away. Okay. If that doesn't freak anybody else out, then no, it definitely does. Okay. I think just existence freaks me out, okay? That's my weird thought of the day. The fact that we exist, the fact that I was born, I'm thinking, I'm talking, and then I'm gonna die. And that's it. That's my life done. Done. Fucking done. Then what? Nothing. But I've probably just initiated about 1,000 people don't listen to this podcast, existential crisis. So maybe that wasn't the best weird thought. That was a scary thought, but it's still weird. I think too much. I think that's what it is. I think too much. I talk too much, I eat too much, and I laugh too much. Can you laugh too much? No, unless you're telling someone that they're dying, and then there's definitely too much laughing if you're laughing. Okay, so AI relationships. Yes, it's a thing. Duh, of course it is. Now, let me tell you, these are spoilers, by the way, because I'm going to talk about the plots. About Humans, the show, Black Mirror, one of the episodes, which I can't remember what it's called, and Her, which is a film. Okay, so if you don't want to hear about any of those, I'm going to say, I'm talking about this one now. Spoiler alert, skip on until I don't know when, and then maybe I'll put chapters in and then just start listening again. But yeah. Okay, let's start with Humans. Humans is a British show revolving around AI servant bot things, but some of them, they're like physical bots, but they are servants, and they basically do all of your stuff that you don't want to do, like or that you can delegate to a robot. So can you do my washing up? Can you do my hoovering? I don't know, all of that. They can drive, they can cook, they can do everything. They're like nannies, but robots. So anyway, people are skeptical about them. You basically pay for them. I don't know if it's a subscription, probably, because everything's a subscription nowadays, isn't it? And then they're just yours. They have a name, they have a unique appearance, and the main one in this show is Mia. Okay? You as a viewer, there's 3 seasons, you as a viewer gain a significant affinity to Mia as a character. To the point where, this is a big spoiler, okay? If you don't want to spoil, come back in a minute. Literally. To the point where, when Mia died at the end, I fucking cried for like an hour. I'm not joking. It was so sad. I can't remember if Tom was crying, but I definitely was, and I was really sad. I felt like I'd lost a good friend. So I know she's an actual human, but in this she wasn't. So yeah, I got attached to her. But what happens is she's a thinking human. So they're called humans. She's a thinking robot. As in, I can't remember what is different about them. I think they've got some kind of, I can't remember. There's something different to normal ones. I think it's actually that they've all got personalities, but a lot of them are hidden by this kind of shield inside of them, but they're like screaming to get out or something like that. It's really dark. So they have consciousness, and it starts off with her, and to start with you think she's bad because she starts doing weird shit, like carrying the young child who's called Sophie, I think, carrying her out in the rain while she's asleep and then bringing her back for literally no reason. We never quite find out why she does that. That in fact it might have been in there, but maybe I just don't remember. Anyway, that was the first weird thing that she did. And then she just she doesn't do weird stuff. She just starts to act more like a human, think for herself, disobey commands and stuff like that. But actually, she's really fucking nice. Mia is amazing. She's lovely. And she wants to get all, they're called synths. She wants to get all of the synths to not be enslaved, basically. So anyway, they go on this like mega mission, blah blah blah, try and get like synth rights and stuff. It's a whole thing. I recommend it. And yeah, in the end the synths are somewhat free, but then she dies and it's really fucking sad. But now that I've told you, it won't be a surprise. And the protagonist always dies at the end. Come on, Dawn. So that was Humans. Now, what I left out in that was that Mia has a sexy side. So you can turn her onto like sexy mode or something, And what happens is the husband, they were a married couple. The husband, when they got Mia, the wife was like out or something, and he turned her onto sexy mode and had sex with her. Typical men. Joke. I love how my thing now is like joke, by the way. So turned her onto sex mode, had sex with her. Now, because she was a thinking synth, in fact, I think they all had memories, she remembered it. That was pretty awkward, especially when they found out that she had a consciousness and was not just a robot. Then eventually the wife finds out. It's not good. I don't know. Is it okay? I think if you didn't know she had consciousness, this is a controversial statement, I think it's okay to have put her into sexy mode, because ultimately she was just a robot, right? But you would have sex with, if you were a female, a vibrator, or if you were a male, you might have sex with a sex doll, or you watch porn. And can robots consent? I would say no. But the difference is that Mia has a stream of consciousness, and that changes things, because yes, then she's a robot, but she also thinks. That is trippy. That is maybe even trippier than thinking about the universe. God, we are doing some mind-blowing things tonight. Okay, Black Mirror. Black Mirror, there's a couple of episodes. One of them, spoiler alert, by the way, one of them is there's loads. No, I can't say them all. One of them in particular, I will say. Basically, when this lady's husband dies, she kind of clones him, but from social media. So he's put all of his life on social media. So the clone robot thing that grows in the bath, gross, is cloned. It looks exactly like him. It talks like him. It's sort of like him, but it's got all of his social media memories. So it is sort of like him. Anyway, the wife gets really tripped out by it. She doesn't know whether she loves it or whether she doesn't. She doesn't know if she should have it or whether she doesn't. She sends it out the house, but it can't go anywhere because it's got nowhere to go, and that is its home, and she's his owner, and then it kind of just stands outside because really creepily, because it can't go greater than a certain distance away from its owner or home or whatever. And then she keeps it in the attic because she doesn't want to get rid of it. She doesn't want to kill it. So, but she also doesn't want it all the time around her. So she puts it in the attic and keeps it there forever. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, guys, please watch it. It is on Netflix. It is amazing. It's arguably the best thing to come out of Netflix. It is so trippy. It is so mind-boggling. There's so many good things on there, and it's all about our dystopian relationship with technology. And that's it really. Dystopian relationship with technology. And it's kind of a bit like 1984, it's we'll see into the future. It's really fucking good. I love it. But it does spin you out, but it also brings you back down to reality. You're it kind of scares you, but also you're okay, so I'm going to keep AI at a bit of a distance. Her is as a film. And basically there's this, it's a bit like Siri or Alexa, but the guy, it's a bit more advanced, it can kind of respond to you, and she sounds she's got a very beautiful voice. I think it's what's her name? I don't know her name. I'm really bad with actors. Might be. Sorry, I've got an itchy ankle. It might be like Catherine Zeta-Jones. Let me find out. Wait there. Her movie. Scarlett Johansson. That's the one I was thinking about. I actually, in my head, I was like, it's her, but I don't know who Catherine Zeta-Jones is. Anyway, it's really good. Basically, again, spoiler, Samantha is an AI, but she learns and she develops relationships. This guy falls in love with her, but then realizes that she's actually in a relationship with like 500 people. And then they get to a stage where they want to be sexual, okay, but she's not a physical being. So they have like phones, voice sex or whatever. But then it gets to the point where that's kind of, I want to hug you and I want to touch you and I want to kiss you. So they do this thing where they hire a lady who pretends to be her. Like she's into it. Like she is keen for this. But the guy finds it really weird. And Samantha's like, oh, but like this would be really good. And then the lady who's pretending to be Samantha, the physical lady, gets really upset because she's like, why am I not good enough for you? Why do I not depict your lady friend Samantha well enough? And she gets really upset and it's all a disaster. And then, yeah, I can't even remember what happens. I think Samantha takes a rapid end. After all of that, I have my reservations, to say the least, about AI and AI relationships. Now, people have fallen in love, had relationships with inanimate objects, including AI. I don't feel it myself. I don't. But the way I feel about it is that people can do whatever they want. What I would like is that if people were always going to be happy in a robot relationship or AI relationship, that's fine. Okay, if you were always going to marry a car, go and marry a car. But what I am concerned about, I'm just going to reset the camera. What I'm concerned about is that people are going to go, I'm lonely, I don't have a relationship, no one loves me. Oh my God, there's a spider up there. I'm not good enough, I'm not good looking enough. And they substitute human relationship with robot relationship or other inanimate object relationship. And personally, that is something that I don't think is necessarily a good thing. There's always somebody out there for anybody. You just have to find them. Or maybe your standards are too high, which I always think my standards were too high. And I always wanted something that was like perfect, like no issues. But even when it was there in front of me, it was never good enough. So I had to like alter my expectations a lot. Not saying I lowered my standards for Tom. It was just like you manage your expectations of any relationship, because expecting someone to make you can't expect somebody to be everything that you want. It's a compromise, isn't it? So I think if you're replacing normal human relationships and interaction with AI, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. Including, I'm not just talking about like, relationships. I'm talking about like friendships, and I'm talking about like the lonely teenager that doesn't feel like they have any friends and then resorts to AI instead of trying to go out and make a different set of friends because the friends that they were friends with were shitty and weren't actually very nice. and they could definitely make better friends. I do worry, about the lack of human interaction nowadays, but I think people are seeing it. I think people are going, shit, we do not talk anymore. We don't touch each other. Sounds weird, but, hug each other. We don't shake hands. We don't look at people. We don't talk to people that we don't know. And I think people are realising that and going, because everybody I speak to in the street when I do my videos on YouTube, they're like, nobody talks anymore. But they're like always really glad that I have spoken to them. Even if it's off camera. Now you have to remember that the people that make it onto my YouTube videos are the people that have agreed to be on my YouTube videos. There are lots of people that I speak to who don't want to be on it. So I have spoken to them. I've interacted with probably like 3 to 1. 3 people say no, 1 person says yes, I would say. But you don't see the rejection on the YouTube channel because firstly I can't show it because they've said no, and also, I don't know, you got to move that content on quickly. People get bored. So yeah, God, I could say a lot about human relationships with each other, but don't we all know it already? I just think if you're going to take anything from this, just think, have I connected with a human that I don't know this week or month or day? Now, the difference is when I work as a doctor, yes, I fucking do. I talk to patients all the time. I talk to lots of people that I would never talk to in my everyday life. But why don't you think about rather than going to the self-service checkout, why don't you go up to the counter, talk to the person, don't just make shit small talk, like talk to them about something fun, something that you've noticed. I remember one lady had a watermelon purse and I thought that was bloody great. Ask that person, where did you get that watermelon purse from? What's the story behind that? Find out people's stories. But I'm not done. This podcast is not done right there. Okay. I could really talk about it for a long time. And Black Mirror has really fucked me up. In a good way. It is really good. God. You gotta go and watch it. Miley Cyrus even stars in one of them. She becomes like a robot toy. That's quite cool. One of my favourite ones is San Junipero, I think. I have others that I think are good but are disturbing, of which I can't remember the names. But anyway, I'm talking about Black Mirror again. You can just go watch it. You don't need me to sit here and give you a detailed breakdown of the Black Mirror episodes, although I'd love to. What I was going to talk about is actually I had what I would, I guess now I think about it, might call an AI experience, but it was with a real person, but I never met them. And I have talked about this in Tinder the Ugly a few episodes back. Basically, there was this guy called James. We spoke for 8 weeks over text. We sent pictures, not like weird ones, or sexual ones, just like funny pictures of where we were. It was like we were in a kind of long-term relationship, but we'd never met. And you kind of... I pray for the day that I do a podcast without yawning. It's because I always do it so late. It's currently... it's 1 a.m. So anyway, what I thought was that in reality, he could have been a robot. He could have made up... Obviously, I know he wasn't. He was a real person. But the robot could have fabricated these pictures of him, could have fabricated this story of him going through eye surgery could have fabricated this story of him travelling through France. I don't know. It could have happened. But I would say I developed feelings for him, feelings of feeling like I knew him. Not like love feelings, but feeling some kind of connection with this person that I'd never met or spoken to on the phone. So how is that any different? I mean, there's always the hope that you would meet that person in real life, but actually when it came down to it, I don't think he ever wanted to meet me. Or maybe he just psyched himself out. He'd be speaking for 8 weeks, and then by that point you're just a bit like, fuck, there's a lot of pressure on this. So after that, my tactic was to talk a little less and meet up within a week, if possible. And if they were flaky about it, that's it. Then I have no connections to them. I just break it off. By then, you don't want to meet, that's fine. You're just wasting my time. Okay, let's talk about the crux of the video. And that is, now this is my positive section, by the way. Counsellors. And I looked up counsellors, AI counsellors, and they exist. There's something called, very aptly named, and it's kind of funny. It's like a pun. I'm really bad at puns. I can't ever come up with puns. It's called Woebot, like as in woe, W-O-E bot, as in like sadness bot. Woebot. I just thought it was really good. Anyway, it's basically an AI that you can talk to, you message them. You might have seen that, I don't know. You talk to them, you message them, and they respond. And my initial thoughts were, fucking hell, this sounds awful. But then I read the reviews on the App Store, and they were really good. It's got, out of 12,000 reviews, which is fucking loads, it's not like a small sample size. Oh wait, okay, so now for some reason it says 6,000. Oh, it's 12,000 on Google and then 6,000 on the App Store. So it's got 4.7 out of 5 on the App Store and 4.4 out of 5 on Google, out of a very big sample size. This is a free app. You basically, you can, like I said, you can talk to it. It's got tools on there. What else could you do? Insights into growing your best self. I think I might try it. It's free, okay? I don't think it's ever going to necessarily replace a counsellor. I think the one thing you get from a counsellor is that you feel like you're talking to a human, but they're very expensive, of course. And the other thing that people commonly said was, a counsellor isn't there for you 24/7. Not that they need a break. I'm not saying they should be on call all the time, but what I'm saying is some people have anxiety attacks or really, depressive episodes at like 2 a.m. And you need someone that's just there for you then. Also, a lot of people mentioned that they didn't feel any pressure to continue a conversation with Woebot. If they felt okay halfway through, they could just switch the app off and that was fine. They didn't feel like they needed to end the conversation, or you don't have to leave your house, you don't even have to leave your bed, you don't even have to get dressed. So I was very surprised about the feedback. Now I think what does help is that it's free. Now it's free to download. I don't know if it's free to use. And yeah, loads of people have said really great things. Let's see some other reviews. I think a lot of the thing is people don't feel like they can pay for therapy, which is fair enough. I don't necessarily think it's good to unpick your childhood trauma or severe issues on there. I think that's better done with a therapist, but apparently the robot is designed to safety net and signpost at certain points. But I think it works as kind of like a low level CBT help. Like, how can you get through this I don't know, issue with feeling anxious talking to waiters. I don't know. It might help reframe your negative thoughts, but I don't think it's going to help you. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think it's probably better to go through something a bit more qualified to and human to uncover your kind of deep psychological trauma. What sentence to come after my massive yawn. Guys, I think that means it's time for me to go to bed, really. But I just want to leave it on that positive bombshell, because I thought that was a really... I really expected to see shit reviews, not gonna lie. I might try it. I think it will help me... what will it help me with? It might help me with getting shit done, because I can be a bit... my issue at the moment is just getting up on time and going to bed on time, as currently shown here. Okay, and I'm staring at this really bright light, my light box, which is not going to do me any favours for going to sleep. And I literally spoke to my counsellor today, and I was like, I'm having issues with sleep, just not going to sleep on time and then waking up really late. Not really late, like 11, which I don't think is that late, but it means that everything else gets shifted back and I just don't end up, whatever, you don't need to hear my problems. Someone gets paid to listen to my problems. So, yeah, one of them was winding down at like 11 to try and go to bed at 12, and that's, turning off the lights, reading a book, blah, 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 but probably podcasting is not on that list. It would be good if I could do it like blindfolded, but I think I'd probably yawn more if I did it blindfolded. And then I wouldn't know if I was recording or if the camera turned off, so maybe that's not a good idea, but it's definitely better for my cortisol. Is that what it is? No, not cortisol. My car... Oh my god, I've forgotten what it's called. Tom calls it a cardigan rhythm, and now I can't get that out of my head. Oh my god, what's it called? Why can't I think of it? It's because Tom's got cardigan rhythm in my head. Something cardinal rhythm? Why can't I think of it? That's very annoying. It's not cardinal rhythm. Circadian rhythm. Okay, and on that note, I gotta love you and leave you. Bye. Oh, I didn't say, consider liking the video if you watched on YouTube. I post 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, much to my regret. I should probably do it twice a week, but I like to fuck myself over. There we go. But yeah, I post a lot, so come join me for the ride. We have a good time. It's all about positivity, self-improvement, topical stuff. Fun every week. And then we have weird thoughts, and yeah, it's a good time. Bye.